funny story that we were talking about earlier. Hey folks, I'm David Nelson. I'm an author of these books right here, The Shade Tree Choir, Pals 1 and Pals 2. I have with me tonight, I'm billed as the biggest liar in East Tennessee when I perform my cowboy poetry show, cowboy comedy. This guy tells more lies than you can shake a stick at. But tonight we're going to be serious. He's going to verify that what I wrote in Pals 2 especially is true. We've been friends for 34 years, and I want you to meet Merle Lilliquist. Hey, Merle.
Hey, one of the things that's in David's book in Pals 2 is the Huntin Buggy that he had at our lease, which was called the East Pasture Hunt Club. This was a buggy that I and my brother-in-law, Columbus Howard, built for him, which was probably a mistake because he'd get lost in the closet anyway, let alone give him a buggy. But the buggy's in there. It was a Blazer that we made a full chassis buggy out of it with a V8 engine, an automatic transmission, and 922-inch military tires on it. We had, it was about you sat about 6 feet off the ground, bucket seats in the front, double van seats in the back, and we also had a trap door that was built into it. You pulled the trap door up as you're riding along with a big bag. Well, that's where the beer cans went because we certainly didn't want to litter on our lease. But if you missed the hole, you lost one turn on a round of beer. Yeah. The buggy was awesome. David got lost a lot and got stuck many times, but he even got a GPS. Well, he didn't even know how to read a compass, let alone a GPS. So yeah. We had so many good times on that buggy and my father-in-law's Jeep that it's just unbelievable. Anyway, the buggy's in his book, Pals 2, in the East Pasture Hunt Club. Yeah. I don't know if he brags about him being a great shot in his books. I can't recall it being in the books, but he is the worst shot I've ever saw in my life. He could have hit the bull in the butt with a bass fiddle. We were riding along one afternoon, and there's a big power line that runs from 510 to the Brevard County line. And along this power line, it was always full of vultures, what we called Florida turkey buzzards. Well, David always wanted to shoot one, which you're not supposed to, but I said, okay, he's not going to hit one anyway.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, they're kind of like California condors.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, we're riding along, and here they're up on the big high line, on the power line. David says, stop, I want to shoot one. I said, we need to get closer. No, I can hit it from here. He fired. They just sat there, didn't even flinch away. Get closer, get closer. So I got about half the distance. Now we're about 20 yards from him. He fires, nothing. Get closer. Now we're right underneath him. You can look up. He said, if I miss now, I'll kiss your butt. He shot. One of the turkeys went like that, and we all sat there. So I just got up and took my gun belt off and dropped my Levi's. He gave me a whack. That was it. But the buggy is there. It's in his book. The hunt cap was there. Unfortunately, it's not anymore because the state bought the property, but what sometimes we had out there.
Indeed, yeah.
But I was telling you, David got lost a lot. Well, we'd play tag at night. Well, my wife and I were on my buggy, and David and my brother-in-law and sister-in-law were on his buggy, and David's wife, so they were playing tag. And I'm taking off, I'm going the back roads, pulling off, and David's right behind me. I said, damn, he's getting good. Well, I had a big light on the back roads, like a headlight for a backlight light, and I had it on, so it wasn't too hard for him to find that.
Following you. Tell them that story about the banana spider alley. We used to go down there once in a while.
One road that you go down, and the spiders would build big webs. They're called banana spiders, and they're about the size of a silver dollar. Well, David and I'd be up front, and of course the back van seats were a little bit higher where the women rode, and David always said, go down the banana spider road. Down the bed. So we'd go down there, and they're whacking spiders. Yeah. They were harmless. They wouldn't hurt you, but the women didn't like it at all.
Well, they could jump 25 feet, and they would build a nest across, or a web.
And they'd raise them
up, and then we would drive through there when we had guests out on the ranch, or on the lease at the swamp, and of course we'd duck down, and they'd all get these webs. Well, one time Merle and I and Chip, and this is in my book also that you can read about, Chip's a real Florida cracker, also known as a cowboy. He says, stop the buggy. So Merle stops the buggy. I'm looking up at this spider web that's huge. Chip winds it around smaller and smaller and smaller. It looks like the size of a small basketball. I'm sitting there laughing. He takes that spider and throws it at me. It hooked on my mustache. The thing is hanging on my stomach, and I could feel the spider inside crawling. I'm screaming like a little 7th grade girl. Those two guys thought it was pretty funny. And so we were always pulling pranks. But that book, Pals 2, talks about the success, the laughter, the gaiety after the original book, Pals 1. That's a more serious novel, or a book and novel, and it's about me growing up with 2 alcoholic parents and a mentally ill mother, and how the spirit of a young boy could not be put down thanks to Pals. That's where I got the name. Then Pals 1 talks about friends of mine who literally probably helped me keep from going to jail, and the revolt I went through takes me up to high school. And Pals 3 goes from graduate school, Pals 2, excuse me, takes me up to this era.
He needs a prompter.
Yeah, and that's where I met this yay who was somewhere along the line in Pals 2. DavidNelsonAuthor.com, that's where you'll find my books.
One more story.
What?
Chip, that we've been talking about, grew up as a cowboy. That's all he did all his life.
Yeah.
He had the Radenbaugh Ranch, a big ranch, da-da-da-da-da. He was a member of our hunt club. Chip would get on the buggy, and no matter what he had, whether it was iced tea, a vodka, a beer, he would spill it.
Yeah.
We were out there riding one afternoon, one evening, and it was getting dark, and David always had beautiful cowboy hats. Well, he came out there and he's riding, he's got this new black hat on, a $500 hat. I said, David, what do you got that on out here for? And he said, well, I just wore it today. Well, David was driving, and every time Chip got ready to take a drink, David would goose it, and Chip would spill it all over himself. I'm sitting in the back with my Mossberg shotgun. In fact, the Mossberg shotgun I got from you.
That's right, I gave it to you. Yeah.
Has killed more deer and hogs. Anyway, we're riding along, and Chip says, Merle, let me see your shotgun. Now, first he said, David, let me see your hat. And I'm going, Nelson, don't give him your hat to myself. David gives him the hat. He takes my shotgun, pulls the drawstring back on the hat, and boom, lets it go. Blows the top out of Nelson's hat.
Yeah.
$500 hat.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm telling you, I'm laughing so hard I had to get off the buggy. But we didn't kill each other. That was just buddies could do that with each other.
Yeah.
You know, nobody took any offense.
Yeah.
And in fact, you had that hat in your house in Tennessee with the top blown out.
Yeah, and I walked around for years trying to figure out why I had a sunburn circle right in my head. I'm a little slow sometimes.
Great time.
But that's what the book is about. It's about people having fun. And my advice to you, even if you don't buy my book, it's called Carpe Diem, seize the day. Go out and suck the marrow out of life and have fun. See you later, folks.
Bye.